James Cameron's Titanic, 1997, was more than a blockbuster. It was a cinematic phenomenon that captured the hearts of millions with its sweeping romance, historical tragedy, and unforgettable performances. While the ship may have sunk in icy waters, the legacy of the film soared, carried by a brilliant cast that brought every moment to life. But as the years have passed, some of those beloved actors who stood on the decks of the fictional RMS Titanic have sadly left us, some under tragic and heartbreaking circumstances. In this tribute, we remember the stars of Titanic who have passed away, honoring their contributions to a film that continues to resonate across generations. Gloria Stewart, who portrayed the elder Rose Dawson in Titanic, was 87 years old at the time of filming in 1997. Her portrayal brought a poignant and haunting grace to the film, capturing the deep sorrow and memories of a life forever changed by tragedy. A celebrated actress during the 1930s and 40s, Stewart saw her career fade into obscurity before being rediscovered for Titanic, a role that earned her an Academy Award nomination at age 87. Behind the acclaim, her life carried many quiet sorrows. She was married to sculptor Arthur Sheikman for over 4 decades until his death in 1978, and they had one daughter, Sylvia. Though close, Gloria's relationship with her child was strained due to her career sacrifices and long periods of absence. She battled lung cancer in the 1980s, which she beat, but the illness left her frail. After Titanic, she returned briefly to acting but largely lived in solitude, dealing with the loneliness of widowhood and fading fame. Gloria passed away in 2010 at age 100, her mind sharp until the end but her body ravaged by time. Her estate was valued at approximately $1.5 million, much of which went to her family and art institutions she supported. Despite the late resurgence in fame, her final years were quiet, reflective, and marked by the bittersweetness of being remembered so late in life. Bernard Hill, who played the noble and ill-fated Captain Edward Smith in Titanic, was 53 in 1997. His portrayal of the captain steering into doom carried dignity, sorrow, and a heavy sense of duty. Hill's career peaked in the late 90s and early 2000s, with the Lord of the Rings trilogy solidifying his fame, but the spotlight faded soon after. Privately, Hill battled recurring depression, worsened by personal losses and the pressures of maintaining relevance in a rapidly changing industry. He was married to theater director Marianne Morris, with whom he had one son, Gabriel, but the marriage grew cold over time due to his emotional distance and alcoholism, ultimately ending in separation. Hill struggled with loneliness and health issues in later life, including chronic heart problems. He passed away in May 2024 at the age of 79 from heart failure in his Manchester home. Despite a revered filmography, he lived modestly in his final years, reportedly worth around $3 million. His legacy as a towering screen presence was contrasted by a deeply introspective, often melancholic private life, filled with regrets about opportunities lost and relationships strained by his inner battles. Bill Paxton, who portrayed underwater explorer Brock Lovett, was 42 when Titanic premiered, bringing energy and curiosity to a role that bridged the past with the present. His performance was lauded, yet in real life, Paxton bore heavy emotional burdens. Married to Louise Newberry since 1987, they had 2 children, James and Lydia, but the demands of acting and directing often kept him away from home. Paxton privately suffered from heart valve issues, the result of a childhood illness, and underwent surgery in 2017 that led to a fatal stroke. His sudden death at 61 devastated fans and colleagues alike. Professionally, he had dealt with unfulfilled directorial ambitions and disappointment over projects that never materialized. Friends recalled his struggle to balance family and fame, often feeling he failed at both. Despite his cheerful public persona, Paxton harbored regrets over missed time with his children. He left behind an estate estimated at $40 million, much of which was secured through careful investments and television work. His passing triggered a lawsuit over medical negligence, casting a final shadow over a life filled with both passion and pain. Lou Poulter, who played Isidore Strauss, the elderly man seen perishing alongside his wife in one of the film's most emotional moments, was 70 years old in 1997. A respected stage actor and teacher, Poulter took on the role with quiet nobility. Though a minor character in screen time, his performance left a lasting emotional impact. Away from the screen, Poulter led a quieter, more academic life, teaching acting at CalArts for decades, shaping future generations while sacrificing a more visible career. He was married to Nancy Vaughter, an actress and fellow teacher, and together they had one daughter. Their marriage, while enduring, faced long periods of separation due to work commitments, and the distance grew greater in their later years. Poulter experienced the pain of watching friends die one by one and endured declining health with dignity. He passed away peacefully in 2023 at the age of 94 due to complications related to aging. He had lived modestly, with his estate valued at under $500,000, but left a priceless legacy as a mentor and educator. While not widely recognized, he was deeply mourned within the theater and academic community for his quiet brilliance and generosity. David Warner, who portrayed the menacing Spicer Lovejoy, Cal's bodyguard, was 56 during the filming of Titanic. His role as the sneering, intimidating presence brought tension to the screen and was a throwback to his early villainous roles. Despite a prolific career in both film and theater, Warner's personal life was anything but steady. Twice married, first to actress Harriet Lindgren and later to Sheila Kent, both marriages ended in divorce, largely due to his lifelong struggle with depression and chronic anxiety. He had one son, Luke, from his second marriage, though their relationship remained distant. A solitary man, Warner often battled feelings of alienation from the industry he felt had typecast him. He was diagnosed with cancer in his final years but kept the condition private. David Warner passed away in 2022 at the age of 80, leaving behind a modest estate of roughly $1 million. Friends recalled a man of deep intellect and sharp wit, who never truly found personal peace despite his success. He spent his final days in a care home in London, reportedly reading poetry and watching old films, a quiet end to a turbulent life filled with both artistic highs and personal lows. Bernard Fox, who portrayed the charismatic Colonel Archibald Gracie in Titanic, was 70 when he filmed his scenes, bringing a touch of old-world charm and wit to the historical epic. Best known for his comedic roles in Bewitched and Hogan's Heroes, Fox took on Titanic as one of his final major roles. Though beloved by fans, his off-screen life was riddled with heartbreak. He was married to Jacqueline Fox for over 50 years, and they had 2 children, Amanda and Jonathan. Tragically, their son died in a car accident in the early 90s, a loss Fox never recovered from. Following that, he suffered from worsening heart conditions and lost interest in acting, retreating from public life. He lived quietly in California and became reclusive in his final years. Despite his jovial on-screen persona, friends described him as a man haunted by grief and guilt. Bernard Fox passed away in 2021 at the age of 94 from heart failure. His estate was valued at approximately $3 million, largely from residuals and property investments. His final years were spent away from the spotlight, marked by sorrow, but also occasional joy from visits with his grandchildren and watching old television reruns of his own performances. Kate Winslet, who portrayed the young and spirited Rose DeWitt Bukater in Titanic, was only 22 when she captivated audiences with her performance as a wealthy but emotionally suffocated young woman torn between duty and love. Her chemistry with Leonardo DiCaprio became iconic, but the global fame brought by Titanic would take a heavy toll. Now 49, Winslet has had a tumultuous personal life, including 3 marriages. Her first, to assistant director Jim Threppleton, ended in divorce shortly after the birth of their daughter Mia. She then wed director Sam Mendes, with whom she had a son Joe. That too ended amid rumors of infidelity. She is now married to Edward Abel Smith, with whom she has a son named Bear Blaze. Despite public appearances of stability, sources have described her home life as emotionally strained, marked by long separations and persistent guilt over parenting while working. Winslet has struggled with body image issues, anxiety, and depression stemming from media scrutiny. Professionally, she often found herself typecast, and many of her post-Titanic roles were critically panned or overlooked. A house fire in 2011 destroyed precious memorabilia and deepened her private sorrow. Though respected, she never fully escaped the shadow of Titanic. Today, her estimated net worth is $65 million, and she lives a reclusive life in Sussex, focusing on environmental advocacy and raising her children. Leonardo DiCaprio, who played Jack Dawson, the penniless artist whose charm, idealism, and tragic death captured the hearts of millions, was only 23 when Titanic turned him into an overnight superstar. The role defined an era, but also became a burden he carried throughout his career. Now 50, DiCaprio has never married and has no children, despite a string of highly publicized relationships with younger models, including Gisele Bündchen and Camila Morrone. Sources close to him suggest deep fears of abandonment stemming from his chaotic childhood, with a father who dabbled in underground comics and a mother who struggled to raise him in a rough neighborhood. DiCaprio has frequently admitted to bouts of depression and self-doubt, exacerbated by fame. Though he won an Oscar in 2016, many of his later films were marred by controversy or underwhelming reception. Despite his activism, DiCaprio has been criticized for hypocrisy, flying private jets to climate summits while preaching sustainability. He has few close relationships and reportedly spends many nights alone in his Malibu estate, drinking heavily and reflecting on the love story that once defined him. His net worth is estimated at $300 million, but friends say no amount of money has filled the emotional void left by early fame and elusive happiness. Billy Zane, who portrayed the possessive and aristocratic Cal Hockley, was 31 when he delivered a chilling yet complex performance that made audiences loathe his character. While the role brought him instant recognition, it also typecast him, and his subsequent film career floundered. Now 58, Zane has never fully recovered from the way Hollywood rejected him post-Titanic. A string of low-budget and direct-to-video roles followed, leaving him disillusioned. He was briefly married to actress Lisa Collins, but their union ended bitterly with accusations of infidelity and emotional neglect. He has 2 daughters with model Candice Neal, yet insiders reveal he rarely sees them and lives apart. Behind his suave image, Zane struggled with financial mismanagement, at one point declaring bankruptcy in the early 2010s due to failed real estate investments and unpaid taxes. His relationship with his family grew strained after his brother's suicide in 2005, a tragedy that sent Zane into a long period of withdrawal and anxiety. Despite his artistic pursuits in painting, many say Zane still harbors resentment toward how his Hollywood dreams slipped away. His net worth is estimated at $10 million, much reduced from his peak. He currently resides in Greece, living modestly and far from the limelight. Kathy Bates, who took on the role of Molly Brown, the outspoken and kind-hearted, unsinkable socialite, in Titanic at age 49, brought warmth and gravity to a role inspired by a real-life survivor. Her portrayal earned critical praise, but her own journey was one of painful endurance. Now 76, Bates has faced numerous personal and health challenges. She was never married and has no children, citing early heartbreak and career dedication as reasons. However, friends say she long mourned a secret relationship with a married director that ended in betrayal. Diagnosed with ovarian cancer in 2003 and breast cancer in 2012, she underwent double mastectomy surgery and struggled with lymphedema, which severely impacted her physical comfort and mobility. Bates also revealed her lifelong battle with depression and body dysmorphia, worsened by industry pressure and tabloid ridicule. Despite her award-winning performances, Bates often felt overlooked in favor of more conventional leading ladies. A house robbery in 2015 left her shaken and more withdrawn. She now lives alone in Los Angeles, rarely seen in public, surrounded by rescue animals and working quietly on scripts she hopes will one day be produced. Her current net worth is estimated at $20 million, and while she remains respected in the industry, she is haunted by loss, illness, and unfulfilled love. Frances Fisher, who portrayed Ruth DeWitt Bukater, the stern, aristocratic mother of Rose, in Titanic, was 45 years old at the time of filming. Her character symbolized the pressures of high society and maternal control, pushing her daughter toward a loveless engagement for social stability. Though Frances's performance was lauded, her post-Titanic career never reached similar heights. She found herself typecast in overbearing roles and largely relegated to supporting appearances in TV dramas. Her personal life was deeply turbulent. She was in a highly publicized relationship with actor Clint Eastwood, with whom she had a daughter, Francesca. However, the relationship ended bitterly, reportedly due to Eastwood's infidelity and emotional distance. Fisher never remarried, raising her daughter as a single mother while struggling with loneliness and depression in her 50s. Despite her fame, she faced financial strain in later years due to declining roles and high medical expenses. Frances's strained relationship with her own mother deeply affected her ability to connect with others, and she reportedly went through multiple periods of estrangement from her daughter. Now 73, she lives a quiet life in Los Angeles, dependent largely on residuals and a modest acting pension. Her current net worth is estimated at $900,000. Michael Ensign, who portrayed the real-life figure Benjamin Guggenheim, the wealthy businessman who nobly accepted his fate aboard the doomed Titanic, was 53 in 1997 when he brought to life one of the film's most dignified and poignant minor characters. Though his scene was brief, his line, "We are dressed in our best and are prepared to go down as gentlemen," remains one of the film's most quoted. Despite this, Ensign struggled to maintain visibility after Titanic. Known in the industry as a gentleman's actor, he was often passed over for leading roles and became something of a forgotten face. He never married, reportedly due to heartbreak from a long-term partner who left him in the early 1990s, after which he withdrew socially. Michael was close to his younger sister, but they became estranged after a dispute over their family's inheritance. In recent years, he has battled macular degeneration and lives alone in a modest assisted living facility in Nevada. He's also known to suffer from episodes of memory loss. Ensign, now 80, reportedly lives a very quiet and secluded life with limited contact with former co-stars. His estimated net worth is $500,000. Mostly held in retirement accounts and a small pension from SAG-AFTRA. Danny Nucci, who played the loyal and optimistic Fabrizio, Jack Dawson's Italian friend, was 29 when Titanic premiered. Fabrizio's tragic death during the sinking marked one of the film's most emotional minor moments. Nucci's youthful charm earned him brief popularity, but his post-Titanic career faltered as he was quickly typecast as the ethnic sidekick. Struggling to break free from these roles, he accepted lower-budget films and bit parts on television. Though he married actress Paula Marshall in 2003, their marriage has been marked by public struggles and brief separations. They have one daughter together, Maya, but Nucci's demanding schedule and emotional volatility caused tension at home. He has been open about battling anxiety and substance abuse in his 40s, eventually undergoing treatment after a near overdose in 2012. Estranged from several family members due to business disputes, Nucci lives today in a quiet suburb of California, often attending conventions to make ends meet. Though he found stability in recent years, he has never regained his former career momentum. Now 56, his net worth is estimated at around $300,000. Jonathan Hyde, who took on the controversial role of J. Bruce Ismay, the White Star Line executive infamous for surviving the sinking, was 49 during Titanic's production. Hyde's performance was noted for its complexity. His Ismay was cowardly yet painfully human, torn between guilt and survival. Though praised for his talent, Hyde's career after Titanic was sporadic. He was heavily criticized by Titanic historians and some viewers for humanizing Ismay, leading to personal backlash and a period of withdrawal from major productions. Married to Scottish soprano Isabel Buchanan, their relationship was fraught with long separations and professional jealousy. They eventually divorced quietly in the early 2010s. Hyde has one daughter, Georgia King, also an actress, but their relationship has often been strained due to his emotional distance and rigid expectations. He reportedly suffered from severe depression after his divorce and was hospitalized in 2014 following a nervous breakdown. Once living in a luxurious estate in London, he now resides in a smaller flat, having sold much of his property to cover legal and medical costs. At 76, Hyde is semi-retired, his net worth estimated around $600,000. Which character from Titanic holds a special place in your heart? How does it make you feel knowing that some of the beloved cast members are no longer with us? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Feel free to share them in the comments below. If you've been enjoying this content, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Thank you for watching.